So, who wants to recap what happened last
Clint came out to the group.
Yeah, gambling, and then
time?
Clint's
Undead
secret
Crimes.
is now out.
Yes.
And
To the
nobody
group,
freaked
Came out.
not to the public at large.
I think the closest to a freak out was Wisteria, who's like, I'm gonna fix this in some way, and well, good luck with that.
She'd like to help however she can.
Forget the color correct palette, you know?
And we also learned that supposedly the chick that did this to Clint is dead. The cleric. And Rosette is sus.
Yeah, then wasn't she like, "Yay, meet me in the back alley," and then everybody thought that they were like secret lovers or something?
Well, she didn't say that to anyone here. She just like disappeared for a second and came back.
Yeah, I feel like Joe was the only one who thought that.
Yeah. I the idea into everyone's house.
I specifically remember that kept you waiting. the joke.
Because that just so out of left field. It fucking killed me for a second.
Out of left field?
Yeah.
Did you feel the tension?
Well, yes, but that's just Carmen in general. She's surrounded by all sorts of tension. Anyway, you guys.
We talked to Davil.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to get Davil's maybe not assistance, but advice regarding mind flayers and shit. But Davil didn't know anything directly. I think he said that he was going to like talk to somebody. But I don't remember.
Yeah, he was gonna procure a list of people who might be interested and give it to you guys.
And that was it. Aside from just more information that we got from card game.
Mm-hmm. Clint lore was dropped.
Yeah.
So then
we
went home to the inn to relax for the day. Or for the evening.
You guys already did the work earlier that day. Accidentally, but you did it.
True. Very true.
No monster hunting for you all tonight. And you're able to spend your time doing whatever little rituals or hobbies you have before you all tuck in for the night. And you're all able to peacefully rest. At least for the most part. Now, I have two options. I can roll a die. Or I can let you all decide. I'm very down to impartial dice roll.
I mean, I'm good with either.
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say Z goes first.
What?
Sure.
Why?
I can get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell does Z go first?
Iris isn't here, so I can't say Iris goes first.
I'm fine with you going.
I said, yeah, look, I was speaking for everyone.
Okay. So, Z's going first. We're going to take you all here.
We need a second floor map.
The only one I have is the crusty one. Okay, fine. No floor. General Waterdeep it is. need to drink water for this. While I drink water, what does Vera do before she goes to bed? Does she have any like habits, any nighttime routines she got?
I mean, it's probably pretty boring of just like maintaining her equipment and her clothes and everything. She makes do with what she has and tries to make it last, which requires just upkeep. And then she ends up in bed and conks out pretty fast because you get sleep when you can manage to get sleep.
All right. So, what do you think her normal dream is about? The first one.
I hate those questions. I don't know, man.
Is she on the ship? Is she here at the tavern?
I mean, I guess she'd be on the ship, or either on the ship or on a beach somewhere. It's a good dream.
Mm. Nice chill vibes. Nice water.
Just existing, man.
And
That's all she wants to do.
just existing. She sipping out of a coconut or
Nah.
nah?
Nah.
About a flask.
I don't. She'd probably just be like either if she's on the ship, just like working like normal, or if she's on the beach, just like
Mhm.
sitting and not really doing anything.
Okay. So, let's say that she's on a ship. She's working like normal. It's a crew that she's worked with before in the past. They're setting sail on, regular transport. It's going to take a couple of months, but, you're going to be paid well for your time. And after a hard day's work, Feyre sits down in her little hammock thing to sleep. Her rest, her day is done. It's good work, but it's tiring work. And as she rests, and the rocking of the ship kind of sways her, her eyes close, and usually at this point in time, they just snap back open to another day on the ship. But as her eyes close this time, the first thing that she notices is the movement's changed. Rather than the sometimes stronger than usual, but very rhythmic and steady rocking of a ship, instead now it's kind of jagged. It's irregular, it's really bumpy. The second thing she realizes is that she's not in her hammock anymore. Now, in the blink of an eye, she's sitting down on wood. As she opens her eyes, she looks around and it's dark. She looks around, she's in the back of what looks to be a wagon, sunlight slipping through the cracks. And the next thing she realizes, her hands and feet are bound. They're locked with chains. Her weapon nowhere in sight.
They look like sturdy chains.
Sturdy chains. They look really thick.
Well, that's not great. I imagine, did like slight panic for a moment, then start to like calm down a little bit, kind of force herself to calm down, and she's gonna start doing whatever she can think of to try and. She knows it's not gonna work, but like bend or snap the chains or slip the cuffs, or she's working very hard to try and weasel her way out.
All right. It'll take a lot of time, but Fair would know that eventually it's got to give, right? Eventually. She starts working on that, and it's kind of hard to tell the time. The sun creeping through is beaming down. And sorry, distraction. And as she works, she's able to take in some more about her surroundings. It's not just the sun that's filtering through little cracks in the wood, but the air itself is just sweltering. It's a dry heat that makes her lips chapped and cracked. And there's a slight incline as she kind of slides on her wooden bench in the wagon. But after a few minutes of trying to bend the chain, she's made some progress. At least it feels a little looser, but she's not sure how much of that is the metal bending and how much of that is her skin bruising. But she hears voices from up front. And Farrah's able to hear that, oh, there's people talking. There's people driving this wagon. Farrah, I'll give you this for free. Because I feel like Farrah would be smart about this, given the everything about her. It sounds like they don't know she's awake. But you can, from the back of the wagon, you can kind of make out their voices. You'd have to move closer if you want to figure out what they're actually saying.
Is it like the standard kind of TV thing where there's like a barred window between where she is and up front, or
Not a barred window. The wagon itself is just fully enclosed. The bits of light that are coming through are like what's the cracks in between.
she will keep working on the chains, but if she can manage to do it as gracefully as she can, kind of slide a little bit further up the bench.
You're probably using the turns of the wagon to help disguise any sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
But she gets close enough. And as she just gets close enough, the wagon goes over a bump. You see one of the wheels probably got caught on a log or a rock, but it was a bump that jostled everyone for a second. And you hear the sound of what sounds like a light smack, probably to the back of someone's head. As you hear one of them hiss out, "What the fuck are you doing?" And you hear the other person, presumably the driver, just like, "I'm dry. Do you think you can do better?" Person who initially smacked them says, "Do you want her to wake up?" You don't hear a response, but you can probably guess that they shrugged. You hear some grumbling under the breath as you hear some shifting. You hear the one who is grumbling hand over the reins. He's like, okay, you drive then. Well, I'll take a break. And you just hear this like little snatch of the leads as the first one just kind of just takes it with a very haunty like, "Thank you, I'll do it." And for a few moments there's silence. Farrah, can you make me a strength check? Working on those chains.
Come on, Farrah, please do halfway decent. 15.
15. All right. So, you're not free yet. However, your wrists were bound so tight together that they were kind of bruising against each other. You've loosened them up a bit, so you have a bit more mobility. It's going to be a little easier to break them further. But you're not free yet. But you can continue working on them. And what's your passive stealth?
Passive stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Decent. 16.
Okay. Luckily, you wiggling just enough to loosen the chains coincided with some more creaking of the wagon, so they did not hear it. But after a few more minutes of work, you hear the silence between the two up front is broken again. This time by a question. Do you think she knows who she is? Doesn't matter. They're gonna pay the same. Yeah, but do you think she even knows? Why? Again, I don't care. All I care is that someone's gonna be paying a lot of money for some special people. You hear just a hum, non-committal. The lower one kind of leans his head back and you hear a slight thud against. And you realize that, oh, he's right on the other side, directly to you. As it's a soft thud as he rests his head against the wood. Like, man. I wonder why they're rounding up all the nobles. You think Baldur's Gate's going under? Other one just kind of snorts and says, I think that happened a long time ago, and I don't really care as long as I get my money. Feyre. Yeah. No, continue. I was going to ask for another strength check and for your reaction.
Feyre's just gonna continue working on the chains and
Mhm.
realizing how close she is to these people and hearing everything. Her
Mhm.
rapier is gone.
Mhm.
And she reaches down with her tail to her boot. Is the hidden knife still there?
No, unfortunately, they check the boot. She's weaponless.
Damn it. Let me use the fun thing. Is her arms behind her or in front of her?
They're in front of her.
Mistakes have been made.
No one said they were smart.
So she, now that she's a little bit more noble, or not like mobile with it, she wants to. She's gonna focus on trying to get her feet free. I think, because you said her ankles are bound as well.
Yep.
She is, 100% okay. She can kind of shift her wrists and move her arms a little bit. She has no weapons, so these chains just became weapons. But she needs to be able to walk.
Okay.
So all of her attention and effort is now shifting to getting her feet free.
All right.
And she will
Roll me
slide
a-
to the middle of the between the benches, so that she can kind of lock herself in place, I guess you could say. Kind of pressing in different directions so that she doesn't slide, doesn't get jostled around, so she can focus on that.
She's kind of like positioning herself to like. Okay, I see what you mean. Alright, so roll me a strength check. But also, I want you to roll me a con save.
That's another 15 on strength.
Okay.
And that's a 15 on con. I am
Okay.
consistent tonight.
Mm-hmm. So, Fairy, you're able to wiggle some more of your wrist. Now they're able to be a couple of inches apart now. Not fully free. Or, sorry, not your wrist. Your feetsies, your ankles, you're able to wiggle them loose. Not completely, but if you were careful, you could stand up and have just enough room, just a couple inches of leeway to not fall flat on your face. However, doing so, the chains burn with how hot they were. Your ankles, for the most part, while you're focused on your wrist, were sitting in the sun, and the chains heated up a lot. And as your skin kind of hisses against it at first, you realize just how hot it is. And just how you don't remember the last time you had water. Your lips that were chapped earlier are kind of cracked at this point. And your breathing gets a little heavier as you realize not even your sweat is there. It's just instantly evaporated. The breathing gets a little heavier, and you realize you're still on that incline. You're going up in altitude. It's gonna get even harder and harder to breathe, and it feels like it's getting hotter and hotter. There's no breeze filtering through the cracks. Little bits of sky that you see is pure blue, not a single cloud in sight. It feels like the sun has been at noon for hours at this point, bearing down on you. But you're able to get the chains just a little bit free. It does take you a little bit of time. Just enough time that the two goons in front decided to break the silence again. You hear the one who you recognize now as the one that leaning against, the one who gave up on driving. Ask the other one, where are we even going? It's so hot. And the other one just sighs, as if this is not the first time this question has been asked. We're going to the mountain desert prison. That's where they want to round them all up. I don't ask questions. I just want to get paid. Now would you just shut up? Fair, I'd like you to roll me another con save.
$70.
17. Alright. You can roll me another strength check. This time, unfortunately, the altitude change is a lot. You're going to be rolling at disadvantage.
Disadvantage, okay.
Not the con save, just the strength save. Just strength check. Sorry. What?
So the equaled me out to another
Uh-huh.
17. The lower roll, would you know what it equaled me out to?
What?
Another 15.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Alarmingly consistent.
Very consistent. Alright. I will say that with another 15, Farah, this is fucking hell. You haven't been there yourself, but you're pretty sure that's what this feels like. You feel like every drop of water in your body is gone. If you could crumble into dust and sand, you're probably 1 more hour away from that. But you're able to grit your teeth, and doing so grips your cracked lips and it bleeds. But even the blood is thicker, as if the moisture in it evaporates as soon as it's exposed to air. Harder and harder to breathe. But you're able to loosen the chains around your feet. You can stand and walk now, but the chains are still there. But you're able to walk. But walking is asking a lot.
Fuck if it's asking a lot. She doesn't want to be here. I imagine she has tried to tap into Riptide's power, and I'm assuming it's not there.
Oh, you can try. How does she try and tap into Riptide?
Instinctively, she would want to reach for the sword, but she knows the sword is not there. And so, just as she is working the chains, she would just kind of call out with her mind, kind of mutter under her breath for Riptide. And I imagine, double check what she has here. She would try to summon up the energy that would be involved in an Eldritch Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking blast the chains off.
So, you summon up the energy enough for an Eldritch Blast, and you try to blast the chains. You do take a little bit of damage because it's really close range, but you see that they do something. It's not instant, but it does damage it a little bit. You think that this is a viable strategy. Eventually, this is going to work. These chains are just so thick and it's so hot, and as you channel Riptide, for the first time since you woke up in this wooden, sweltering prison, you feel a gentle breeze. It's cooling, and it brushes past your face, kind of tickling your hair a little bit. And you hear a voice in your mind. It starts with a giggle that you've come to associate Riptide with. And just hearing the voice in your mind, it almost feels like someone has taken a wet towel and placed it against your forehead. Feyre, you're alive.
For now. Don't be alive much longer if I don't get out of here.
I'm so sorry you're in this situation. It's just... it's kind of ironic, if you think about it.
I'm not quite sure I know what you mean.
Well, you're being made for the water, for, well, my domain, and you're here. Our away from it, no water in sight. It's kind of funny if it wasn't awful. This is awful. I'm so sorry you're experiencing this.
Yeah, well, we'll be coming back to the water real fast and real in a hurry if you could just manage to help me get these fucking chains off.
Well, I don't know what I can do about the chains, but I think I can help you. Or help you help yourself, really. In exchange for something.
Still fighting with the chains as she is going. Yeah, and what would that be? I don't think I'm much in the ability of giving you much of anything right now, seeing I'm in a box.
Not now, silly. Look at her. You have to promise me something. Well, two things, really. Promise me you're never gonna turn your back on the ocean. You're never gonna turn your back on me. Because I'm helping you. And the second thing, it's really little. You see, it's just, I really want you to visit me. Soon.
Yeah, well, I already told you the ocean's my home, so I'm not really gonna be leaving that anytime soon, and you can see me as soon as you point me in the best direction to get back to water in a ship.
I need you to repeat it. And promise me.
Repeat what?
All in one sentence. Promise me you're never gonna betray me. And promise me you're going to visit me soon. Before the end of the year.
And what am I getting in exchange for these promises then? You already said you can't really do much anything about the chains.
I can't do anything about the chains, but I can help you get rid of them. I can give you more power. Doesn't that feel good? More power? Imagine what you could do with just a little bit more.
I'm gonna freaking roll some shit here. She's barking up the wrong tree in some ways.
I keep looking for your rolls in roll 20 like I'm gonna see them, and that's not where they're gonna fucking be.
Not gonna lie, same.
Oh, how panicked is favorite in this instance? She rolled really good on the int check, but only medium on the panic check. I don't know what that means for me.
She could try and negotiate.
As she is doing this, the talking with Reptide, there is connection there, so she is less concerned about not being able to access that power at all at the moment. Can she also try reaching for her natural ice abilities?
She can try. But it is incredibly hot.
Yeah, well, I think if she could manage to just fucking start freezing these chains with some ray of frost, because I get that naturally.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna
She can
start.
try, but it's not going to be very effective because it'll take a lot to try and freeze heated chains.
Well, she's gonna start working on it.
Yeah.
Just kind of tilts her head slightly. No, I appreciate the help, and I would like to continue to get the help by all means, but you know I ain't much of one for power, right?
So what do you want?
Freedom. Ain't that what the ocean all about?
You can't see her, but you almost feel a smile in the back of your mind. This is why I picked you. It's why you're my favorite. You understand. I can give you freedom. I can give you freedom from a lot of things. Just name your price. What will it take for you to make those promises?
And Feyre just kind of tilts her head as she is like again pouring more ice magic into these chains and like yanking them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look. When you talk about visiting you mean like come talk to you at the dock or the beach?
Something like that.
Hell, if it's like that, I can certainly promise you I won't come visit you, because I'll come visit you all the time anyway.
We can meet at the dock. At the beach.
And I'm not much of a issue promising you that I'm not going to abandon the ocean, none, because I don't have any intention of doing that. So just help me get out of here.
That smile in the back of your mind gets even wider. As that gentle cooling towel that was placed on your forehead, that you now realize was more or less where the telepathic connection to Riptide was residing. You see that sensation kind of spreads. And then it's gone. And you're back to that sweltering heat. That feels like a punch in the gut after that little bit of respite that you found in that little connection. And for a moment, nothing happens. But then, Feyre, you feel something deep in your chest, in your sternum. And you realize that you hear it too. It's the very, very low, but very, very loud, rolling sound of thunder. And those beams of light creaking through that were burning you whenever you jostled into them fade as storm clouds roll in. And it starts to downpour. The water almost flooding an inch of the cabin in what seems like a minute. And that heat is gone. And you feel so alive. The chains, they're not burning you anymore, and between the respite and the cooling of the water and the ability to breathe now without feeling like your lungs are burning from the inside out, your ice feels like it's been boosted to all hell as one last ray of frost freezes not only the chain lock, but the chains around it itself, since the water spread. And it takes no work at all for you to just quickly push it onto the bench and then with a twist, snap it clean off. And Farah, all you hear, as you now freed yourself, you're now surrounded by water, by something you know, like the back of your hand. You hear the confusion and the complaints of the two goons in front. And with your chain weapon now in hand, it takes one swift kick with your full force to break open that wagon door. And that's where Farah wakes up. Well,
She needs a drink.
Wakes up parched as fuck.
wakes up drenched in sweat. Glass of water by the bedside table, drained in seconds. Alright. And if it's the alcoholic drink that she needs, it's a good thing she lives in a tavern.
Yep, she drains the cup of water on the bedside, probably has a pitcher of water still in the room, takes a couple more like glasses out of that, for she's like, okay, I'm going downstairs to fill this sucker up again, and grab a bottle of booze.
Alright. So, any volunteers or shall I roll?
Joe.
Or any nominees? Joe? Okay, I guess
was-
it's the previous person.
It's only fair.
Call me out first thing. You're next, buddy.
Alright. Alright, so I imagine Clint did some shit before he went to bed.
Yeah, I imagine he is like when he is doing his bedtime routine. A lot of it is probably like cleaning himself and his gear up before bed, because he probably tends to get dirty over the course of the day. But that said, he will do a little bit of cleaning and maintenance on his own gear, and then start to set up his bullets and magical needs for tomorrow. And I imagine that he just falls asleep doing that.
Alright. So, Clint.
Howdy.
Clint falls asleep cleaning up his guns. Imagine it smells like gunpowder, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I imagine he has a little, like a baggie of gunpowder that he will use.
So he falls asleep to the smell of gunpowder. And when he opens his eyes next, first thing he smells is also gunpowder. Next thing he hears is a shot that's fired. As Clint finds himself ducked behind what looks to be a pile of sandbags and barrels, this makeshift barricade. Hands on his hat as he ducks down. He's in a shootout.
Oh shit.
Ducked behind cover. See, there's someone next to him who also looks like they're ducking behind cover. And you hear different guns going off. You can't count how many there are. You see one guy to the left of you, one guy to the right, who looks like he's been shot, and he's gone. You see that some others are dragging that guy away, trying to get him some treatment. You don't recognize him, but considering you're all on the same side, of this sandbag, you reckon that these are the ones you see now are friends, not foes. What's Clint do?
Well, there's shots being fired, right?
Yep.
So, gut instinct is to identify where the shots are coming from.
Other side.
So where again is he? Is he in the bar?
Nope. He is essentially in town somewhere. The buildings kind of look similar, but also not. It's kind of like snippets of Waterdeep and snippets of other towns he's been through a long time ago have kind of melded together to make this sort of courtyard-sized area where the shootout's happening.
Okay. So, is there any sort of marking on the people who are getting shot who are, like, I guess, with him? Allied with him? Or whatever? Or at least not against him?
Yeah, there is. If you... Give me 1 second. If you look, you see that all of them seem to have this green handkerchief on them somewhere, whether it's wrapped around an arm, in a pocket square, used as a bandana. There's some striking bit of green on them. And you see that, Clint, looking down, it looks like you have one hastily stowed in one of your, like, inner pockets.
Oh. Do I recognize it?
Looks
This
like
green hanky?
Looks like a green bandana.
There's no symbol on it. It is just a green bandana, the moniker of which is, like, unfamiliar to Clint. Okay.
Roll me perception real quick.
Perception?
Perception.
Yeah.
With your fucking million fucking bullet dice.
Yeah, a million bullet dice and a -1 to perception. Yeah, 15. That's not bad, actually.
No, it's not bad. So you notice, at least in the guy right next to you who's taking cover and who's peeking out and shooting, ducking back down, peeking out, shooting. You notice that his bandana is blank. It's just plain green, but the one Clint has, there's a symbol on it. The same symbol that is motifed in Chancer's saddle and the amulet that Clint has. The symbol that he's come to associate with Maya. It's faded, but it's there in dark green pattern throughout the handkerchief. But as you look at your allies, theirs are just plain green.
Okay. So, can Clint peek out around a corner to see who is shooting at them?
Yeah, sure.
What do his human eyes see?
My computer froze for a second. He peeks out, and there's, like, I imagine it's a quick peek, because he knows can't really stare for long in this kind of situation. So it's a quick little snapshot that he gets, and he sees 3 or 4 people, about, like, about the same amount of numbers. He was also able to see that there were some people down on their side as well, and he saw flashes of red. It doesn't take much to put together, because Clint's a smart guy, that red bandanas mark the enemy. But he wasn't able to get a good look at any of them. He just saw a number of bodies, some of them horizontal, little bits of the same red color scattered amongst each one of them before he ducks back down.
Okay. Well, I have a bunch of bullets. I might as well shoot.
All right. Roll your attack.
Okay, let's see. That's not a great start. 12.
A 12 will actually hit.
Yo!
And Clint, describe to me how Clint whips around and with one quick shot takes one of them down.
I imagine Clint is positioned behind a cart or something.
I imagine sandbags and barrels, tombstone style.
Waist high cover.
Yeah. Waist high cover.
He's positioned behind some waist high cover of some kind. And while he is hiding behind it, he will check the barrel, make sure everything's good and accounted for, and then he will clasp it shut, count to 3, and 1, 2, and then on 3 he'll roll out from the side and tumble down, and then take one clean shot, and then roll right back up and start sprinting across to the next waist high cover.
All right. You take one of them down and you duck down to your cover. Seems like another one of your buddies also takes another one down, but you hear a cry of pain behind you. People are going down really fast. You took out someone, your buddy took out someone, one of your buddies went down. It's chaos at this point. But you're a professional. You know how to use your gun and you use it well. And as you duck down for cover, you're able to dodge some more shots that hit the barrel and the wagon that you've chosen to duck behind, kind of sending a little shower of splinters harmlessly over your hat. It's getting quieter. There aren't as many shots going off, but there's still some.
Okay. Clint we're going to do second first, same as first.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
Higher than a 12. Higher than a 12. That is going to be, that's a 23.
Hey, all right. Clint, you're able to take out another one. Are you still moving forward?
Yes.
Or are you staying?
He's moving forward, moving at a slight angle, so that it would be like a zigzag. It's like this maneuver.
Yeah, I got you.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
So with this one, you're able to, while you're sprinting, kind of jump behind cover, but just before you land, you're able to do a quick shot at someone who is getting ready to fire right back at you, and they crumple at the same time you hit the ground. Behind cover, unharmed, their shot goes wild. And as you take a second to breathe, it's silent. You don't hear any more shots going off, and from your positioning, there's cover in between you and where your quote-unquote buddies were. You don't hear any shots coming from them either. You don't hear any coming from the other side as well.
Well, the only sensible thing to do is to peek. So, what Clint is going to do is stick his hat, make sure he's still ducked behind whatever cover he is ducked behind. He's going to take off his hat, and he is going to carefully position it on the barrel of his gun so it is propped on the gun. And he's going to raise the hat a little bit above the barrel, so just the brim of it is above the barrel. And if he holds it there and it doesn't, and just kind of moves it around a little bit, it doesn't get shot, he'll bring his hat back down and put it on his head.
Yeah, there's no shot.
And once he has successfully reattached his hat, He'll actually peek out. Is anyone left? Is it just Clint?
Clint, you peek out. Very, very smart move, by the way. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It looks stupid, but it works. It ain't stupid. That meme of the soldier with his helmet on a stick, you know? But you look around and you stand up. And the first thing you notice is the bodies on the ground. There are one you shot, first and foremost, there. And then your eyes travel, and they see there is one figure standing. You see this figure has on a red bandana, and you see that they have two guns pointed at Clint. They're not firing, but you see the familiar sight of Carmen.
I fucking knew. Red and blue go together too well.
She's about 10 paces away from you. She has both guns trained on you. And what's Clint's passive perception?
His passive perception? 9.
Alright, let me see you roll for this. I don't know why I thought int was perception for a second.
His investigation is quite high, but his perception is quite low.
Oh, I know, you noticed this earlier, because you had... No, okay. Sorry. Rewind a little bit. Because the action, quote-unquote, of shots volleying back and forth has stopped, you're able to get a second. And you notice that while the bodies on the ground have the blank bandanas, your allies, blank green, your enemies, quote-unquote, a blank red, you see that Carmen's red bandana has the same patterning that yours does, except red. And she steps closer, slowly. Her guns are still trained. But she gets close enough until they're in classic 10 paces distance. Does Clint do anything?
Clint is going to... He's going to mirror the motion of Carmen. I don't know where in the world they are, if they're in Waterdeep, but emotionally they are in the town square at high noon.
That's effectively what this is. It's a bunch of towns and cities mixed mashed together, but this is effectively the town square at high noon.
Yeah. So now that we've established it is a gun showdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's Clint is going to do exactly as you would expect. He is going to like mirror her position, and like her guns are trained on him already, right?
Yep.
He will brandish a very cocky, self-assured, like, smirk. But it's Carmen, so he's cocky and self-assured and smirking, but there is actually a little bit of venom in his smile. And he will face her like in the opposite position and hover his hand over his gun. I guess he did holster it as he got up and around, but
I mean, if he keeps it holstered or not.
Oh, he just got out of a shootout.
Yeah.
So he's
I will say that, like... Sorry, good.
He probably had it like just held down at his side, and then when he saw her train guns on him, he trained guns on her, and then they just sort of like predators stared each other in the face, or stared at each other, and circled. But he'll get into the opposing position.
All right. Does he say anything?
Shit. He really should have a quip.
It's okay if not.
He kind of he'll like look at, because she has 2 guns. She's always had 2 guns.
Mm-hmm.
He'll crack wise about it. at the very least, he'll like spin his one gun on his hand and be like, I reckon a showdown ain't that fair if you got twice as much firepower as me. You want to toss one of those aside? Maybe balance things out?
You see, she quirks an eyebrow, but there's a slight smirk as she flips the gun in one hand and holsters one of them.
Shit, I didn't think that'd work.
You see, she kind of tilts the other gun that's pointing at Clint a little bit. Kind of to the side. I guess I can be fair for now, but I have some questions for you.
Tilts his head a little bit, surprised that there are questions to ask. But he will oblige.
Her gun slightly lowers, as if to say, like, gun down? Question mark?
Clint will mimic the emotion of the gesture, but he points his gun skyward. Like pulling his elbow, or pulling his wrist back and up, pulling his elbow to the side, so like he's in a surrendering gesture.
I imagine hers is the opposite motion.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is going downwards. My first question for you, Red Letter. How does it feel being dead?
It just kind of at that says, "Oh, I feel pretty lively for a dead man."
My second question is, what do you remember?
He scratches his chin a little bit, and he gives a thoughtful gesture, or like a really thoughtful expression, a bit like cartoonishly concentrated, and then he'll say like, I remember a lot, but it kind of depends on what you're looking at, what you're trying to figure out what I remember is. So, you mean, like, from before? When I was alive? Or do you mean about what I had for breakfast the other day?
I think you know what I actually care about.
He just, very self-satisfied, will smirk. And he will like throw another hand up and surrender, and just be like, very true, but you can't blame a guy for clarifying. As to what I remember from before, there's not a it's not a pained look, but it's definitely one of like, it feels like showing weakness, especially to Carmen. And he does not like showing weakness to Carmen is like swimming in the water with like a fresh open wound, or swimming in shark-infested waters with an open wound. Like that, it's not a good play. But he doesn't really have any reason to lie to her because he is not the most convincing liar, especially whenever the subject is about him. He can deflect, but he can't like make shit up on the spot that is convincing. At least not often. So he just winces and says, "Truth be told, I don't remember much. But I remember not liking you too much."
Don't worry, the feeling was mutual. And she takes a half step. Her gun is still down. But she shifts, and as she takes a half step closer, she tilts her head a little bit for her next question. Don't you hate that you don't remember?
Narrows his eyes a little bit. Not really sure what the play is. But, again, he is just, in a way, honest to a fault. He will take 2 steps forward, one for the one she took and one of his own. And he'll say, I don't hate it. I don't hate a lot of things. But I don't like it.
She'll see your 2 steps. She'll take 1 step for her next question. Now, do you have any idea where your friends and family are? What they're doing?
Yeah, Clint loses the smile on his face. He will take 1 step forward and offer quite possibly the shortest response you will ever get from Clint. No idea.
She'll take another step. Now she's gone 2 steps because her first step was just half step. This is her second step.
The step economy.
Step economy is real. Do you want to know? Because, Clint, what if they're already dead? Who knows? You don't.
Clint thinks about that. He would like. And you can he breaks eye contact with her, which is most times a mistake. But in this particular case, he can't help but do so as he thinks like how badly he wants to know. And then he is reminded of how little he trusts Carmen. So he looks back and shrugs. I do want to know. But how can I be sure that you know? And you're not just playing me? And he doesn't aim his gun, but he points with it at her. And then points it up to the sky again.
Like gestures, like a point, you know? Okay, I got you.
Yes.
There is a tightening of her gun as he points. But as he brings it back up, that, like, the stiffening of the arm relaxes again. And I feel like the tension in that moment rose up again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Clint, I think you need to realize that I know everything. At least when it comes to you. On what happened to you. On what's happening to you.
He narrows his eyes, very, very dubious of everything she is saying. And he will very plainly make that fact known, and he'll not what is the opposite of smirk? It's not really sneer. He
I don't know.
he kind of like scrunches his
Scowl?
nose up. Kind of a scowl.
Scowl sneer?
Scrunches his nose a little bit, and he'll just say, "How can I?" So exactly, she says, "I know everything when it comes to you, or like about you and what happened."
Mm-hmm.
He scrunches his nose at that, and he'll say, "How can I be sure you're not playing me?"
Red letter. If you want the truth, you can't know. But there is one thing you should know about me that you should remember even after kicking the bucket. I don't like to waste my time. I don't do things unless they're important. Now, why would I waste my time giving you the time of day when I could have just killed you in the street the other day?
He narrows his eyes again. I don't know.
You don't know. But I do because, again, I have all the cards here, Glenn.
Well, if you have all the cards, then why don't you play out your hand and see how things go?
That's the $1,000,000 question. You see, something you also remember about me is that I am patient. I like to wait for the perfect time to play my hand. Now, I have some more questions for you. She takes another step forward. What would you do if you found out all your loved ones were dead?
Clint,
What would you do? Oh. Hello?
hello.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was me. Fuck.
What would you do if you found out all your loved ones are dead, and then what would you do?
Ah, yes, okay, sorry. Just got yeeted off the track by Discord sound. What would you do? What would you do if you could have saved them? If you didn't die yourself? What would you do? She takes another step closer. If you failed them?
Clint is actively upset and angry looking. Like, very, very unhappy. The idea that he failed them. He failed these people that he cares about. And like, somehow he could make amends for it. But there's, like, the anger is... Underneath it is an anxiety that she might be right. But he has no way of knowing. he's just banking on her being a liar. Which is both a good and bad thing to bank on. So the conflict kind of plain on his face. He scans the ground for a second, then looks up and says, I'll never know. Unless you're trying to tell me that you not only know what really happened, but you can change how things happen. And that you're offering it to me. In which case, I wonder why.
I'm no magician, Clint. I can't bring back the dead, but what I can offer is information. I can point you in the right direction. I could answer questions.
Where do I go? Who am I looking for? And why did they want me?
Now, Clint, you saw the note that you woke up to, right?
Thinks about it and does remember.
You were told to come to Waterdeep for a reason. The person who wrote that note is who you need to find to get all of your answers. But I have one more question for you. Do you know... Oh, fuck, sorry. Let me rephrase real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you ask me who killed you?
Keep like a second. Well, truth be told, I didn't think about it. 9 wisdom. But now that you brought it up, who killed me? And he'll jab a finger at her.
You see, there's a bit of a smirk as she kind of takes a sidestep. Imagine they've both stepped forward a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably like, what, 3 or 4 paces apart now?
Yes, I haven't said it, but yeah, I imagine Clint has been taking a pace, step every time she has.
Yeah, that's also what I imagine. So they're like a little bit more than like arm's reach each.
Mm-hmm.
Much closer. She's gonna take a step to the side, as if it's circling time. Just one step at a time. Maybe a little closer in like this diagonal, little spiral. It's like, well, I can't tell you now. But I do have a follow-up question. Do you really want to know?
He narrows his eyes. Kind of points his chin up for a second. Says, yeah, I think I do.
Carmen smirks. And she's going to draw her weapon. She doesn't fire, but it's drawn and is pointing at Clint now. She still takes another half step. Or not half step, another side step, spiraling sideways in a circular motion, but also closer. I imagine Clint mirrors her.
Yeah, Clint would absolutely, very quickly pull his gun down and point it at her and start circling her. Mm-hmm. I mean, their guns are probably almost barrel to barrel or parallel.
Mm-hmm. There's a smirk. Sorry, what was the last thing Clint said?
Clint does want to know.
He does want to know? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like,
right.
tell me exactly who and why.
Yeah, she draws her weapon. She starts stepping both closer and to the side, spiraling. Guns are almost barrel to fucking barrel. It's like, Clint Red Letter, I think if you put that little brain of yours to work, I think that deep down, you know who killed you. I just think you don't want to believe it. But when you're ready for that information, I can answer more questions. She raises her other gun at him. If you can get it out of me and live.
This is a language that he is familiar with from Carmen. He can't raise another gun. He's already raised the one gun he has. But
Finger gun.
Like his smirk returns. And he will, like, his eyes dart from one of her, like, one pistol to another pistol. And he will very carefully, like, try to keep his eyes both on her fingers and on her eyes.
Does he say anything?
Takes a long pause. And he won't stop aiming at her, but after about a good, probably like 20 or 30 seconds, he'll say, "How do I get it out of you? Don't suppose I could do that with one of my bullets now, can I?"
See, there's the hint of amusement in her eyes. That's assuming one of your little bullets could hit me.
Mm. He just, like, will continue to nervously stare, and then he'll say once more, like, "So, how do I get it out of you then? If and it's not at the point of a gun."
You know, Clint, beneath that messy mop of hair of yours, there is some semblance of intelligence that's similar to a regular human.
He smirks. "Thank you."
It wasn't a compliment. I think eventually you can figure something out. But for now, I need to win this fight. She cocks the guns.
Clint will pull back the hammer.
You know, I have 2 shots. You have 1. Do you really think I'm gonna miss twice?
Clint smiles. And it is It is kind of an empty, wan smile. Oh, I don't need to miss. I just need to make sure that I don't.
Can you repeat that? It cut out.
Well, he looks at her and he says, I don't need you to miss. I just need to make sure that I don't miss.
Alright. With that, I imagine the two of them just pull the trigger.
Same time.
Same time. And the gunshots ring out in sync. And that's when Clint bolts upright, knocking over some of the bullets he was working on.
Knock them over, they scatter to the floor, and he just goes, oh, beans.
Alright. So, it appears an iris has risen.
Hello, Iris. God bless you, Felician Studios, for making cowboy music. Oh, fuck. There's outlaw music right here.
So close to greatness.
I'm very, very proud of Tia Gunn.
It's so good, man. I love it so much. I love it. I love it so much.
Use it responsibly.
Never. All right. So, Piper, Kira, who would like to step up next into my office?
I can take next, but I do have to step away for a brief second for water break. So, can I have like 2 minutes?
This time.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Water break. Let's just do a little 5-minute break because I gotta pee and get water.
Okay, 5-minute break. So
Christ.
back at 44.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, doing Riptide and then fucking Carmen. Two opposite ends of the spectrum right there. Okay, Sailor. Here you go.
Hi, Sailor.
Yeah, it's just me and Sailor tonight. Mr. Amy's got duty. It's fucking bullshit. He just had duty. It's not fair. It's almost like it's on a rotating schedule that happens regularly. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Hello. I'm very proud of that sticker. It's beautiful. What comedy emoji is Kane?
Comedy? What are my options?
Any comedy emoji, Joe.
Oh, well, let me see. I have a Pinterest folder that has a bunch of reaction images in it that would probably have a Kane one.
One kind of Pepe.
That's racist. He's green.
It can't be racist. Tia's not green. This is pretty Kane.
I feel like the central image, yeah, definitely. Poor Kane. What's he looking at?
Either a message from Iffy, or well, not Iffy, a message from Iffy or a member of the Jedi Council. Or alternatively, the expense list after a mission of alternate. Good one.
That is good. That is good. Oh man. Which would you prefer?
The second one, I think, is more appropriate.
More spiritually Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what the iffy spiritual emoji is.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
You're not wrong.
Okay, I'm back. I have discovered, we need to get more Band-Aids.
Oh, are you okay?
Oh.
I went to go away from my water bottle. Went to the ice maker to grab an ice cube. One of the fucking ice things sliced my finger.
Jesus.
Ice cube?
Yeah.
Holy
anyway,
shit.
I'm using the last of our Band-Aids right now. Fucking ice. Anyway, it's a good thing I'm not note taker tonight. This is honestly better than that Call of Cthulhu session where we were in the middle of the session and my character was introducing a new arc or scenario, and they're in a scene and an NPC accidentally cut their hand. At the same time, my glass desk had a chip in it and 2 shards of glass embedded itself into the same fucking finger.
Oh no.
And I reacted as ouch, and then I got glass in my finger and they thought I was just method acting. I was like, ow, fucking ow, my finger. Okay, I'll be right back. Exactly that. And I came back 5 minutes later. Mr. Amy had to pull it out of my fingy. They were all like, what the fuck happened? And I told them, I told you what happened. And they thought it was the character in the scene. They didn't realize it was a pure coincidence.
That
my
is
character.
Rough.
Yeah, my character and myself got injured in the same fucking hand. The same time. Anyway, back to rogues. Okay. Cool. Jumping back over to rogues. Kiddo, you volunteered next, right? right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So, Have you decided if Wisp sleeps or not?
I don't think she does. I think she spaces while she reads.
Alright. So does she go back to the tavern or does she go back to her house?
She'd go back to her house.
Okay. Does she have like little reading nook, little chair, or does she read in bed?
I think she's got like an idyllic reading nook. And I think that it doesn't make any sense with the architecture of the house. Like if you sat down and you tried to map it, it just would not make sense.
Alright. Now, I imagine she's reading a book on like doctor shit.
Yeah, she's staying up to date with all the latest periodicals.
Yeah, what new herbal medicines have been discovered and all that shit. New techniques for tying a tourniquet as quickly as possible. Things that she's probably going to need to know, considering the people she started hanging out with recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so she falls asleep, and she wakes up not too long after. Or not wakes up, but she dozes off, or spaces out. Forgot, she doesn't sleep. And she spaces back in because she starts to hear what sounds like humming coming from the other room.
Wisteria turns and she's holding her book. She closes it very, very carefully, lays it on her lap, looks around, narrows her eyes, doesn't say anything, listens.
It's a song that she hasn't heard in a long time. She knows where that song's from. She knows what that voice is. And it's just happily humming in the other room.
Wisteria lets out a quiet little gurgling sound, something like and lays the book down very quietly, gets up, dusts herself off, just doesn't quite believe that she can be hearing what she thinks she's hearing, advances across the space of her office, pokes her head out into the hallway.
See the humming drifts down the hallway into what's ostensibly her bedroom. It's a room where she keeps all her clothes. It's got a really, really nice, nifty floor-length mirror that's got different oceanic creatures embedded and chiseled into the wood. She got that as a steal of a deal from a certain trade. To the regular observer, it wasn't necessarily a steal of a deal because all of the carvings are a little janky, but they're more or less identifiable. But it's the room where she keeps all her clothing, in that mirror, and a place to store some more of her books and all the other little knickknacks that she's collected.
I imagine Wisteria's attempts to be sneaky are somewhat stymied by her choice of footwear.
Is it the fucking...
I'm so sorry, Amy. It's the goat slippers.
It's the goat slippers.
It's the goat slippers. But she tries to walk as lightly as she can on the goat slippers anyway. And as she pokes her head into this room, she just sees the mirror, or?
Can you repeat that? Cut out for me.
What was she? Is she just seeing the mirror and the knickknacks in the room, or?
No. Standing in front. New mission. Standing in front of the mirror is a figure about the same height as Whist, but you'd swear she was taller, considering her shoulders are back, her chin is held high. And she's staring in the mirror. It looks like she's gotten one of Wisteria's Okay, gotta focus. Don't be distracted by fucking dropped her fucking chicken nuggies list.
This is who you're bullying.
But you see the familiar figure of Cam standing in the mirror, trying on one of Wisteria's doctor coats. And she's still humming. And as she looks through the mirror at Wisteria, as she enters the room, she doesn't turn around. She just looks at Wist through the mirror. She doesn't say anything, but there is a little smile as she tries to prim and preen herself in the mirror, adjusting the collar of the jacket.
Wisteria sees this, and there's just this horrible resignation that comes over her. Wisteria, on her best days, is not a confident person. She shrinks, she doubles over, her shoulders are very slumped. But all of that is magnified by at least 2 times as she sees Cam in front of the mirror. And there's just this deep sigh that leaves her. But there's also something newer there that she hasn't felt in quite some time when she looks at Cam. And especially at the sight of Cam in her doctor's coat. And despite Cam not saying anything to her, for once in several centuries, Wisteria speaks first. Cam, what? If you're going to show up in my clinic, the least you could do is leave me my coat.
Cam doesn't turn around. She shifts a bit, so it's a bit easier to see Wisteria. But she stays facing the mirror, looking at her own reflection and her eyes darting to Wisteria's every couple of seconds. She takes out what looks to be a little bit of charcoal, as it looks like she started to touch up her eyeliner. And there's a bit of surprise at the fact that Wist spoke. But there's just a roll of the eyes as she kind of brushes it off. It's like, your coat.
My coat. I earned that.
Did you know?
Wisteria is standing there, starting to tremble a little, her mouth a squiggly line, as it often is, but in this case she's more stressed. And she looks like she's going to take a step forward for a second there. She reaches her arm out as if she's going to swing, her arm with the step. But she stays put. And next to Cam, she just looks like an absolute mess. Because she's there in, cow print pajama pants, a silk sleeping shirt, and also, for some reason, one of those very airy, chiffon nightgowns over it. It just doesn't make any sense. And especially standing next to somebody as put together as Cam, in Wisteria's own coat, filling it out better than she could, Wisteria just looks like an afterthought. It's my coat. This is my clinic. What are you doing here?
See, Cam ignores your question as she kind of twists a little bit in the mirror, still facing it, but she kind of buttons one of the buttons, unbuttons it, messing with the collar. And she glances back up in Wist's reflection, just for a moment, as she says, "Didn't they look better on me, though?"
Wisteria bites her lips, and she opens her hand. She looks down as her cheeks get very red. That's not the point. Everything looks better on you. But this is mine.
She shrugs. She kind of waves her hand dismissively, as if, like, what the fuck do you mean it's yours? And she looks down at the coat. I imagine Wish got it embroidered with her name on it, right?
Oh, of course. This is like the one item of clothing that Wisteria takes a great deal of pride in. It's always very clearly white. It's got her name embroidered on it, her full name with her title. And I imagine that there's even like a little bit of embroidery around the lapel of a Wisteria, like motif.
Mm-hmm. Cam looks down in the mirror, looking at the detail. Her finger trails on Wisteria's name embroidered. She looks at it. She's like, "You got it embroidered?"
Wisteria this time does take a single step forward. It's not a very confident step, but she manages it. And she's looking up at Cam, still shaking a little. I did. Because it's mine, and because people come here to this clinic. So, some people come here. I mean, I take care of them.
Don't worry, but we'll be fixing that. She, like, fusses with her hair a bit more.
What do you mean?
She kind of pinches the embroidery a bit, like the area around it, as if outlining it. Do you think Dr. Camellia would work better?
But you're not a doctor. And Wisteria this time does take 2 steps, faster ones, as she's getting a little red again and again, redder and redder. You're not a doctor. You would know the first thing about healing somebody.
How hard could it be? You do it.
There's a crack somewhere in Wisteria's chest at this. She opens her mouth and it's trembling. She looks like she's going to say something, but she looks back down again, just as it seemed she was gathering her courage. And she falters. She takes a breath. It's very hard, actually. You need to go to school for it. And in all the 100 years I've known you, you've never even... What do you know about trying to do anything?
Once again, she waves a hand dismissively. She puts away the eyeliner and she pulls out a tube of lipstick. As she pulls out another one, she starts like holding them up to her lips side by side, comparing the color, as if she's trying to coordinate what'll go best with the coat. It's like, she shrugs. It's like, it'll be easy. I'm sure I can manage. You do it. Why can't I? I can probably do it better.
Wisteria's eyebrows at this point are wrenched so tight above her eyes that they're casting deep shadows across her soft face. And her chest starts to shake a little bit as she takes these trembling breaths. She takes a step forward. No. You couldn't do it. And you're gonna give me my coat back.
What? Says who? She turns to face Wisteria. You?
Wisteria is just plum colored at this point, and her hands are shaking, but she holds them up anyway. She doesn't quite know what to do with them. Her head's kind of lowered. It almost as if somewhere in the back of her mind there's this notion of being in like a headbutting position, but she doesn't follow through with it. And from the way that her shoulders are rounded, it just sort of looks pathetic. I say so. You can't just come here and take this place from me after I've spent so many years working on it. You can't. I don't take things from you.
She steps a little closer. Oh, so you run away and you think you have a backbone?
Wisteria, as Cam looks up at her, seems to hear the voices of her companions in the back of her head and the conversation she's had, and just this wellspring of anger at seeing Cam in her coat, in her house, her clinic. Wisteria actually moves forward, and were she somebody who had very much training in combat whatsoever, she would probably manage to tackle her sister, but she's not. So this first step goes well, the second one less so, and she stumbles forward and just trips. But she does manage to grab hold of the lapels of the coat, and she's clinging on to them as hard as she can, even though she's got no strength left to speak of. Twist has 8 strength. Like, it's not a very tough grip.
You see Cam's hands fall. I feel like she catches Whist as she falls towards her, slightly amused at Whist's show of backbone, of sticking her ground, of trying to physically do something. She's not sure exactly what that was, but, you know, she tried. I feel like Cam catches her, and Whist's fierce grip on the lapels, Cam's hands kind of like go over on top of her hands, and they kind of pat them in a comforting gesture as she smiles. It's like, Wisteria, it's okay. Don't worry. I am going to fix all of this. She gestures towards the clinic.
Wisteria is spitting mad, but she would never spit, really, despite how much she idolizes goats. So, I think at this juncture, she just shakes off Cam's hands, and she tries to right herself and to look her sister in the eye. And this isn't something she's done very often. I'm not sure if it's something that she's done ever. Cam, look at me. Do you have any idea how to perform an appendectomy? Do you any idea how to suture a wound? Do you know anything about broken bones? Do you know how many times I fixed you? Do you have any idea how many scars you'd have on your perfect little body, if I hadn't helped you?
But she did. She like reaches up to pat a hand on top of Wisteria's little head. Because that's what you're good for. Fixing me. So I can do the great things.
Wisteria, at this point, is the yellow of her eyes is almost like an orange color. Come. I'm doing great things here. People come here for me.
Do they?
I've
Are
got
you sure?
friends.
Oh. She turns, puts a hand over her mouth in a fake gasp, and she turns left and right. Oh, she has friends. Oh, good for you, Wist. Pats Wisteria's head again. So, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all of your little... these? Gestures to little knickknacks that are... stuff. I'm guessing overflowing a bookshelf.
Yeah, I'd assume they would be. There's no real rhyme or reason to how she keeps them either. She just arranges them in a way that she likes and that she finds beautiful.
Don't worry, Wist. I'm going to get rid of all of these, and she's going to little boop on Wisteria's nose. I'm going to make everything beautiful.
It is beautiful! Everything here is beautiful! And it's beautiful without you!
Wist, nothing can be beautiful without me.
Oh man. I'm gonna roll a d20. Jesus Christ. The pure bitch energy you were pouring into this woman.
Bro, you wrote her.
Indeed, this is who I'm bullying.
You created Cam.
All right. Okay, it's a 15. All right. I think, God help her, I think Wisteria slaps her.
Yo! Let's fucking go!
I think Wisteria slaps her, and it happens so fast that she looks at her own hand afterward as if she hadn't even registered what she did. And the slight redness on her hand, the redness, I'm assuming, on Cam's cheek, start to coalesce in her mind, and she starts to realize what it is she's done. And there's a flash of something like pride there for a second, and it's then overcome with fear. And she then just takes a breath as she's done something for the first time in her extremely long existence. Mm-hmm. And she swallows, she draws back her shoulders.
Pure shock in Cam's face.
Camellia, either you're leaving this clinic right this moment, or I'm gonna make you leave. This is my place.
Cam's eyes are just wide, and her cheek is reddened, and one of her fingers comes up to brush against it. It didn't hurt a lot. Physically. However, the sting is there, and it's mostly, metaphorical and emotional, of real pushback. And you see it in her eyes of just, it looks as if she's just seen something she's never thought could possibly exist. as if she's looking before a brand new, unimaginable species right in front of her, created. She looks at Wist. She takes a step back. What will you do?
Wisteria is still high on the adrenaline from what's just happened and not quite sure what to do, what she will do. She doesn't know the answer to that question. Not off the top of her head. She hadn't planned this far ahead. She hadn't even planned a few steps behind. She doesn't know what she's doing. But then, as she looks around, she spots something. And she spots a collection of little wooden toy soldiers. All very intricately carved. And they're a little unique among the things that Wisteria owns because she didn't trade for these as a unit. She traded for somebody who made them for her. It was a artificer who had broken one of their hands in what was going to be an irreparable fashion. Wisteria managed to help with it, and in payment for that, they said that they would stop by with something special much later. And what they stopped by with were these little soldiers, each one all done up in their fantasy Highland best. And she looks at these things. She takes a second and she realizes she does know what she wants to do. And she taps the shelf in front of them and turns to look at the figurines and not at Camellia. All right, lads. I think I'll be needing your services. Up to?
Cam turns. Where the fuck? What the fuck? Do they start moving?
They do start moving. This little regiment gets up, and immediately, the horn player starts playing his horns. There's also a drummer, but there are more heavily armed members of the regiment who hop down off the shelf and start surrounding Cam. And these are tiny little wooden soldiers, hardly more than 6 inches tall. But there's like a dozen of them. And they start poking at Cam's legs with their little wooden weaponry.
Shifts her ankle away from them. It's fucking ow. She turns and she looks at Wist. Her eyebrow raises in a really? Look, Cam straightens up. And she puts her hands on the lapels of the jacket. And she nods her head towards a little platoon that surrounded her before she looks back to Wist. Is this how you use the power of beauty to create ugliness?
Wisteria balls her hands into fists. How can you say they're ugly? Look at them! Somebody put their heart and soul into that. I don't think you know what beauty is. I think you just prance about hoping everybody worships you. don't think you'd actually... I don't even think flowers are beautiful to you.
She narrows her eyes. She's going to step over the toy soldiers to Whist. What will you do when your little friends realize I'm better than you?
Sucks in another breath, looks down, holding on to this small shred of self-confidence she's established with white knuckles. They won't. I bet they wouldn't like you. You're too arrogant.
Everybody likes me, Whist. Even Cressida.
Mysteria looks back up again. She doesn't like you. She liked me.
Oh, but... She puts another hand over her mouth in a mock shock. But whose girlfriend is she?
I don't think I have to roll for it this time. I think she's just gonna swing. I think she's just gonna actually swing.
Go for the eyes.
Mysteria's got plans now.
And it's gonna be like the world's most comedic swing in the... Do you want me to roll a melee attack here? Because it's not gonna hit. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't have to. Because there is no way Cam thinks Whist is gonna hit her. Yeah, the one time happened, but that's a fucking fluke. No way that fucking happens again. Whist? Fucking paper noodle Whist? Hit her again? No way.
Squeaky toy noises.
It's a bit squeaky toy noise because Whist... there we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Sailor.
For as much as Whist, understands how to hit the right point for maximum damage, she doesn't really know how to throw a punch. Still, that knowledge is enough for her to know not to aim for her sister's face. I think she punches her in the throat.
Let's fucking go!
Yes!
Let's fucking go!
The woman's a doctor.
Let's go! Okay, fucking punches her in the throat. I imagine her anatomy right in the fucking Adam's apple. Because, I'll tell you right now, getting hit there, oh man, that shit sucks.
It sure do.
You see Cam jerks back from it, starts coughing and sputtering. Her eyes well up in tears, because that's what happens when you get hit in the fucking Adam's apple. And her mascara and her eyeliner starts running as she starts wiping away at it. Because she just got fucking socked in the throat. And Whist, you're seeing Cam looking less than perfect. Not wounded from battle. No, like that hit, you know it didn't hurt much. But it had an effect. And you see that her eyeliner is smeared, so is her eyeshadow on one eye as she tried to wipe it away with the back of her hand. The black and red makeup just smearing on the back of her hand. Kind of smudging the very corner of her lipstick too, as she just glares at Whist. So that's what you'll do.
And I'll give you more if you didn't leave right now. And take back what you said.
See Cam takes off the jacket. She drops it on the floor. on top of the little band of soldiers. She walks towards Whist, moving to walk past her, but she stops so that they're shoulder to shoulder. No. I'm not taking back anything. Because I mean it.
Whist is still very clearly shook, not just from the things that Cam has said to her, but also her own reaction to them. She's surprised at herself, even, and still a little frantic as a result of that. All right, well, Cam, I used to think when you came back that maybe you'd have a wee bit of sense in your head, and that maybe the two of us, we could see eye to eye for once in our lives. But that's not going to happen, is it? So, all right. You mean what you say, I'll mean what I say. You're going to need to find somebody else to patch you up now. And nobody in the Feywild will ever be as good as me.
See, Cam's eyes narrow once again into a glare. She looks at Whist. She opens her mouth to say something. She closes it. She stalks out the door. And as she's... Oh, sorry, yet?
No, go on.
No, finish.
Wisteria will turn and she'll head to the threshold to make sure that she leaves.
Mm-hmm. She does. She kind of stomps her way out. And as she slams the front door shut, Whist, you wake up. It turns out one of your books on your bookshelf fell off and hit the ground. You think you might have put too many things on there as you snap out of what turned out to be a little daydream? It was something. But you look and you're right where you were originally. Your doctor cloak still hung up very neatly right next to you. No evidence of being tampered with at all.
She will stand and, still shaking a little bit, and kind of looking down at her own hands in shock, looking around as if to see if anybody had seen her sock her own sister in the throat.
Fucking wish.
She picks up the coat. She wraps herself in it like a blanket, and she lays back down in her reading nook.
Yay, Whist.
Well, damn, how am I gonna top that? Fucking put me on a pedestal here.
Alright. Piper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Alright. I will say it looks like we have time for Ashley. Because by the time I've been like budgeting more or less half an hour for each person. So, Iris.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you cool with either doing a solo session or starting off next? Would you rather do a solo session to have a Rosette scene or start off next session with Rosette scene?
I'm fine either way.
Okay, we'll see whenever we have time. I'm sure there's going to be a 30 to 40 minutes where we're both in call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it.
It's not like we're here every day or anything.
Right? Okay, cool. Just want to get that squared away before my anxious brain is like speedrun, you know?
No problem. Yeah, I was late anyways, which, sorry.
No, it's okay. Yes, claps to Kira, and also, goddamn, let's fucking go. Fucking socked her.
I wasn't sure I was gonna get there, to be honest. And then she said the shit.
Yeah. I was sitting on that one.
Oof. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
We have no choice but to sock in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
We stand our tiny goat earring little, like, not mom, sister, like a little sister.
Somewhere in the party's dreams, Feyre and Clint are like, yeah!
I taught her how to punch. No, you didn't. Oh, I wish I taught her how to punch.
Have you even ever punched anyone? I don't think I've seen you punch anybody.
Does Clint know how to punch?
Oh,
yes
yeah.
or no? Yeah, okay.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
rough and tumble cowboy. He just definitely did not teach Wisteria how to punch.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Piper, what did
Hello.
Ashley do right before going to bed? You know, like, it's bedtime, what's he doing?
Ashley's been getting drunk at night.
Oh, God.
He's been drinking himself to sleep because he's a sad boy.
Mm-hmm. So does he at the bar, or does he bring a bottle to bed?
He brings a
Or
bottle. Yeah.
he brings a bottle? Alright. Okay. Go ahead and just put that there for myself. I get a fucking sip of water, because Jesus Christ. So, Ashley, you drink yourself to sleep. Do you think, does he just, like, actually go to bed, or just, like, pass out his desk? What kind of, how
He
sad
does
will it?
go to bed. He does go to
Okay.
bed. Yeah.
Okay. Like, how much of a problem is this?
He can stop whenever he wants.
Okay. Gotcha. So, Ashley, you take your last drink and you decide, you're numb enough. It's time to go to bed. But as you lay down and hold on to the blanket and the pillows and you drift off to sleep, you wake up in the back of a carriage as if you nodded off against the glass of the window. You're dressed formally. You have your best of the best on. And you see that your carriage came to a stop in front of a grand building teeming with people and other carriages. All of them entering.
Well, how the fuck did I get here?
You look down in your lap and you see an invitation addressed to you to a ball.
Does it say whose ball it is?
It's kind of hard to read. But after a couple seconds of focusing your eyes, which are a little groggy from sleep, you see that, oh, Morgan is throwing this ball. The occasion unknown.
Okay, I don't remember accepting this, or even wanting to going, but here I am, I suppose. goes to step out of the carriage.
The door is opened for you by the driver. He doesn't look at you as you step out. He just looks forward, opening the door, and then as you step out, just closing it before immediately hopping back on the carriage, driving away.
Okay, so I'll take a look around, see if there's people I recognize.
There's quite a few people you recognize. All of them are entering the building. They're all dressed to the nines. Some of them you haven't seen in, well, since before you know what happened. Some of them you saw a few weeks ago. Some of them you don't recognize at first, but as you hear other people greet them, you put a name to the face. These are all other nobles. And they seem to be all mingling together. Does he enter the ball?
Yep, yeah. Yeah, I'll gingerly take a step forward and look around.
Mm-hmm. As you step inside, the person taking tickets, essentially announcing everyone. You step into line. There's a couple people before you that turn to the attendant, hand them their invitation, and then they announce their arrival. And then they make their way down the steps to the crowd down below. And Ashley, as you go to hand the attendant your invitation, they take it and they put it into a little pile. They don't say anything.
So they don't even announce me?
No. They gesture for you to step forward.
Okay. Rude, first of all. Just kind of like, well, fine. Walks forward.
All right, Ashley, you walk down the steps, and it is a grand ball. There are so many people here. You know the name of approximately 25% of them. You're able to identify another 25%. The other 50% you aren't familiar with. Maybe it's other nobles from out of town, from maybe Baldur's Gate, maybe Neverwinter. It's so many. And people are in little pods, mingling and dancing around. You see servants are walking by with trays on drinks and some hors d'oeuvres as they pass by different groups and different people that are idling about.
Can I listen in to somebody see what's going on? What we doing here?
All right. You can listen in on one of the pods. Do you just eavesdrop, or do you just try to enter the pod?
So it's like an actual, it's
Not
like
literal.
when you say, yeah, you
Yeah,
say pod, you mean like a group of people.
Yeah, a group of people standing in a sort of semi/circle. You know, like big gatherings.
Yeah.
You kind of group up a little bit.
I'm gonna go to the servant and take a glass and just kind of lean to where my back's against the group
I
while I
want you to
drink.
make me a dex save. Not dex, sorry, next dex save, dex check.
Just to say, you fucking excuse me.
Dex check.
So that's just +3. Nope. Oh well, 10.
A 10?
A 10.
Alright. The servant walking by with drinks doesn't stop like you expect them to, and your hand just misses the drink as they continue walking past to another group.
Not my day, I guess. Okay. I'll just blend in and try not to be noticed.
So you enter a little group?
Yeah, quietly.
Okay. You enter the group, and one or two eyes dart at you before turning back to the person speaking. No one else acknowledges you as they continue their conversation. They're talking about fashion and what it means to be in the industry, and someone chimes in something about the economics of it and the different taxes that they have on different merchants. It's noble rich person talk.
Mhm.
Nothing you're not unfamiliar with, but that's what it is.
Okay. Alright, there's nothing else to do but to go find the fucking host. Where the fuck are you?
You try and find the host, but there's so many people here. You aren't able to locate them, so it's either you either can't find them or they haven't arrived yet. Ashley, someone actually walks into you. They don't stop to apologize. They keep walking.
Jesus Christ, what is with these people? Are these even nobles?
No. You actually recognize a couple of groups as you say this. You see over by a table a couple of familiar faces. You just had a tea party with them.
Well, I can't really go over to them and say hi.
No. I mean, Aubrey knows you.
Oh, true, I'll go say hi to Aubrey.
Mm-hmm. So, as you go and say hi, they're all like seated at a table. They're all drinking various drinks. Aubrey looks up at the person approaching her, and she just quirks an eyebrow. It's like, who are you?
Ashley just blinks. Oh, my mistake. I thought you were somebody else. Excuse me.
Okay.
Just kind of nods and moves on, confused.
She turns back to her conversation. Anyway,
He just takes a deep breath, like, okay. Not like her to ignore me. I didn't do anything to piss her off, did I? And he begins like, did I do something to piss her off? No? I can't think of anything. Well, I'm at a loss at what to do now.
Ashley, I want you to roll me perception.
Okay. 7.
A 7. Yeah, you look around, you don't... Aubrey was your one fucking hope. And there's no sign of Morgan. But give me one quick second. Hold on, I gotta do something real quick.
Okay.
choice, Joe.
I know. This music
it's really
is
good.
perfect.
All right, Ashley. Sorry about that.
All right, Amy.
Sorry. So, as you're thinking of what the fuck did you do to Aubrey, usually she at least asks, like, she's a bit nicer about, the whole facial blindness thing. And also, you've got fucking fox ears now.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck does she not recognize you? As you're thinking, you notice someone standing not too far away, and your eyes meet as you see Leto, drink in hand.
And looks down at you because height difference is one thing, but he's also has a look of a little more annoyance than usual. So you actually came. It's a bit surprising.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was kidnapped because I went to sleep, but the next thing I knew, I was here. So, if you had something to do with that, then fuck you. But also, what is this ball for?
Well, it's for you, of course.
Okay. It's what now?
Well, we couldn't have a ball without the special guest, now could we?
You are doing wonders at saying nothing at all while saying a lot. Have you been taking lessons from Morgan? You used to be very poor at that.
Isn't it a noble's job to speak without speaking?
Didn't you hate being a noble?
Didn't you hate these parties?
Oh, I most certainly do. So, which brings me back to my original question. Why am I here?
Why are you here? You obviously didn't
Alright,
need
I'm
to
leaving.
be
Goodbye.
here. Well, good luck with that. Enjoy the party.
Frustrated with not getting an answer, he's just gonna fucking leave.
As you try to make your way through the crowd to where you know the stairs that lead up to the entrance are, you can't find the stairs, the grand entrance. It's gone. You look and you think, okay, fuck it, a window. You don't see any. This ballroom, you don't know when it happened, but this ballroom just turned into a little prison cell. A very fancy one, full of people all having a great time. But a prison cell, nonetheless. In your eyes, after searching for any possible exit, they happen to land right back on Leto.
Alright, bitch. What'd you do?
When you turned back to Leto, he just raised an eyebrow as if waiting.
Don't play games with me. I'm really not in the mood right now.
But I thought you enjoyed games.
I like games where I know the rules and I understand what's going on. I don't like games in which my annoying you just kidnap me and toss me into a ball and then magically disappear the exits.
Well, if you didn't like it so much, you didn't have to come. You don't have to be here in general.
Are you not listening to a word I've said? I was literally dragged here. Against my will. Dressed, which, by the way, very creepy if that was you. And woke up in a carriage.
Were you dragged here against your will?
Uh,
From my understanding,
yes.
you left the Feywilds of your own accord.
Well, I had hope for that, but other than that, yes.
Why did you leave?
Is this just going to be a game where I try to ask you a question and you just turn the question on me without trying to answer anything I say? It's very annoying. I feel the cooperation.
Well, I believe my questions are very simple.
You know, in polite society, one answers a question before asking a question. Have you not learned that much? Maybe you haven't been taking lessons from Morgan.
Do you even like it here?
Well, you see, Leto, due to my annoyance of not being able to find the exit, what would you extrapolate from that? Ashley is getting very agitated at this point.
Are you sure you want to be here, in the real world? Why not just go back to the Feywild?
Because I've already given up on that.
Why?
Because it's not real. You should know that.
I mean, it was plenty real for you to live there.
It was real because it was forced to be real for me. I never chose to go there. Or are you saying I should have stayed kidnapped? Is that honestly what you're saying? Of course that's what you're saying. Are you that jealous that I'm going to be obtaining the headship?
What does real mean to you?
Are we just getting into some philosophical debate now? Because I'm really starting to get pissed off now.
You can leave at any time you want. It's clear that
Wonderful.
nobody
Show me
wants
the
you
door.
here.
Good. I don't want me here. Show me the door.
Door is with Morgan.
And where is good Morgan? Because I've been searching for her, and I would love to give her a piece of my mind.
Leto kind of looks at his watch, like pulls out kind of a pocket watch, flips it open, and then closes it with a snap. Wouldn't you know? I believe that's her cue.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Wouldn't you know? I believe that's her cue.
Oh,
enjoy
okay.
enjoy the party, brother.
Yes.
As soon as Leto finishes speaking, you see there's a bright light on the other end of the room, and the crowd parts. And you see traveling down a set of stairs that, as you look upwards, hope in your eyes. There's no door up there. It's just stairs. Dressed to the nines in cloth sewn with gold and jewels glittering is Morgan, waving to a crowd as she descends down the stairs, almost floating. And the crowd is all smiling and clapping as she is announced very loudly by the attendants. She makes her way down to the bottom floor, where she starts greeting people, shaking hands, partaking in little idle small talk as she traverses around the room to the different pods that have formed.
So Ashley's already getting mad due to his brother, so I feel like the anger is already gonna boil over. So let's roll a check. Okay. Where's that server with the drinks?
What? They're everywhere. They're not going anywhere near you, though.
I'll fucking mage hand one over.
Go ahead and you mage hand a drink. Looks like that server that was just in range was turning to try and not go anywhere near you. But just in time as they turn, you're able to snatch a flute of champagne.
I'm gonna make my way over to Morgan.
Okay. Ashley, as you make your way over to Morgan, you get about 10, 20 feet away. And you see light shine down on you, and the crowd parts again, circling you this time. A good, about, 10 to 15 foot radius around you, as Morgan's inside the circle, as she gestures towards you. And she announces, real quick, are you going to be offended by me having no idea what the fuck Morgan sounds like?
It's gonna be funny. Give it your best.
You've never told me what she sounds like. Give me a vibe.
Do what you think she sounds like, Amy. I want to see.
Feminine Piper voice.
That's just Piper.
Thank you so much. Plus 20 to Gryffindor.
I'm a Slytherin. Fuck you.
Oh. I said what I said.
Okay. Alright, well, she waves a hand towards Ashley, and she announces him. I'm not gonna go for Piper voice, I'm just gonna go based off of Ashley's voice. Don't sue me.
That's fine.
Ashley Estelmer, everyone. And she raises her hand and she starts applauding, and no one else does. In fact, everyone's faces around you that you can see just have a look of disgust and annoyance. But Morgan's face is a bright, beaming smile as her singular applause echoes through the giant ballroom. And she steps closer, her heels clicking on the silence. Our esteemed guest has arrived. Ashley, dear, why don't you give them a bow?
Ashley is just gonna take a swig of the wine cup that he's grabbed of the flute. Take a step forward. No, I'm not in the mood to entertain people, especially your guest.
Ashley. She's going to wrap an arm around his shoulders and gesture towards the still disgusted crowd. They're our guests. You can't be rude to them. What if they don't like you now?
Did you take up comedy? This is fantastic, really. They already don't like me.
Oh, she's gonna pinch Ashley's cheek. You're so smart, you're learning already. Come, follow me. She's gonna start walking.
While she pinches my cheek, I'm gonna fucking splash the glass on her.
Ooh, I thought you downed it.
I took a sip.
Okay. Oh. Her face is not happy. And her smile gets very... Okay, we're slowing down.
Yeah, just a quick thing. My father's an alcoholic. This is just kind of hitting a little funny right now. If it would be possible to de-emphasize that part, I would be very grateful.
I am very, very sorry, Kira.
That's okay.
Which part am I not, or which part am I empathizing?
The drunken, disorderly aspects.
Oh, that wasn't him being disorderly. That was just him, like, literally just, like, trying to intentionally think of a way to ruin her day, if that helps at all? Or
it's
I
still...
I don't understand what I'm doing, I guess.
It's still within the realm of, like, things alcoholic people do, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but just like...
I'm not getting it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can rewind a little bit. Just to clarify, Kira, I don't know if it helps any. We're still going to rewind here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Piper was coming more from a standpoint of spilling wine on someone who wore white to a wedding.
Right. That makes sense.
That was the angle I was going for, yes.
Yes. I understand that. Not a problem. That part in itself is not a problem. It is more the larger circumstance, if that makes sense.
Of just Ashley just drinking a lot, or I'm trying to understand. I really am.
Okay, well, either way, we're going to rewind a little bit to before.
The best option here, because there's some confusion, if I may throw my 2 cents in. Let's go ahead, rewind,
Please.
Reset. We'll just remove alcohol from the situation for now, and we can talk about it after the session is over to try and find some middle ground.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I have no problem. I just really don't understand.
Yeah.
We'll
Sorry.
revisit it after the session for Kira to maybe explain herself better, or, you know, figure out where the middle ground is, rather than lingering on this.
So yes, rewinding. You say that Ashley was not able to grab the glass at all. The servant was too quick. The turn was too fast. Okay. But, like, I imagine Ashley does have, like, an ink pen on him if he still wants to...
I'll take it.
Fuck her up.
I'll take it.
You know, he's got Presto.
Okay, that's what I wanted, so I'll take
it. Same effect. Different device. Same message is sent. As you see, the crowd is deathly quiet. There was some shuffling about, and maybe some scuffs in the crowd, but now it's just deathly silent as Morgan's smile gets wider, and to a point where her gums are kind of showing, as she just ushers Ashley to follow her as she starts walking.
He's not budging. You fucking drug or do something. Fucking kidnapped me. Stripped me down to change my clothes. And now all of a sudden, I'm here. Why would I do a damn thing you want me to do? How about I get some goddamn answers?
She looks at Ashley, and she looks annoyed that he did not follow her. But she picks herself back up, dusts the ink off, cleaning it up with a little flick of magic. If you want to talk here, we can. I just thought I'd give my dear nephew some privacy.
He is fine, Auntie. Now start talking.
Right. No one wants you here. I think you know that.
I've gotten that message, yes.
You should pack up and return to where you truly belong, where people really do understand you.
Wonderful. Just drop me off at the tavern, because I'm not going back to the fucking Feywilds.
Oh, dear, you seem to misunderstand me. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Do you really think anyone at that little tavern of yours understands you? But they care for you?
Understand me? No, but they do care for me.
How sure are you about that? Because from what I can see, I don't think they do. You see, I do because I'm family. I want what's best for you. I think you should go back to where you belong.
And this is why you don't have the headship, dear Auntie. Dear Lord, you're dumber than I thought. The love of my life waited over 10 fucking years for me. You think that I don't know that don't fucking care for me? Get your head out of your ass.
How is Rosette doing?
She's doing wonderful.
Alright, she's perfect. Now that you left. Don't you want her to continue being perfect?
If I went back now, she'd be far from perfect. I can only imagine how devastated she was when I left.
I think devastated is a bit of a strong word about that. Sure, she cried, but it was nothing a few new toys couldn't fix. You were
That's
children.
not what her expression told me.
Because you're so good at reading people. That's why you're here when no one wants you to be.
You know, you're very good at this whole gaslighting thing, but I'm not having it. You dragged me here. And from the way you're speaking, I'm starting to suspect that you had something to do with me going to the Feywilds as well.
Me? Ashley, my dear nephew, I would never do that to my own family.
Right, because you just want what's best for me by sending me back, because that's what family does?
Ashley, look at you. She gestures to your ears and your tail. Are you sure you still belong here? I think you belong somewhere else.
You're full of shit.
And you're full of delusion.
I think you're still talking about yourself.
You need to go back.
I'm not going back.
Not willingly, at least, from what I can see now. You do have some backbone in you. So when that happened.
Let's see, what spells do I have in my repertoire? I don't have a single offensive spell. Okay. Now, you know what? I do have an offensive spell. I have Vicious Mockery.
Oh, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I was like, oh boy, let's hear it. It's gotta be funny. If it's not funny, it's cringe.
What do I say? Vicious Mockery. Nobody wants me here, but you're the real fake.
Ouch, that hurt a lot. I can get a portal for you to go back.
I'm not going back.
Not willingly, at least.
If you want to fight, I'm all for it.
I don't like violence. It's messy and dirty, and I don't want to do that.
Well, wonderful. Then this will be very easy for me. Taking a page out of Wis's book, I'm gonna fucking
Gonna fucking slap her?
yeah.
Alright. You slap her. And the lights kind of flicker in the ball. The chandeliers kind of go a little dim for a second. And you see that she turns to look at you, holding her cheek. And she smiles again. But this time, it's that same too tight smile with too much gum showing. And she leans closer, and you see that she's kind of starting to morph a bit. Her teeth are getting a bit longer. There's much more of them multiplying before your eyes. She's getting taller. Her limbs are getting more gnarly and gangly. And as she's rising above you, her face, the contours of it grow to a point where the shadows on her face make her look more monster than human. And she's going to grab Ashley by the tie. She's going to lean in real close. She's going to say, "That hurt me deeply, Ashley. Truly did. You can't hide from me. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to deliver you back to Queen Titania. There's nothing you can do to stop this, so it'd be better if you just resisted. Or if you just, not resisted, you just gave in."
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Just gave in. Walked through the portal on your own.
Oh, Auntie, who said I'm hiding?
Not yet. But you will. Going to drop Ashley. Imagine she picked him up an inch or two. Kind of drops him on the ground, and as he collides with the ground, Ashley, that's when you shoot up in your bed. Sweat drenched. Hair
Blinks.
a mess.
Yeah, that's me.
Hello?
You're still here.
Okay.
I think Piper was kidnapped.
Okay.
My audio cut for a moment, but I am here.
Okay, cool. Anyway, and that's where Ashley jolts awake. And at the same time, Rosette also wakes up at this time. You all wake up at the exact same time, coincidentally. But we're gonna find out what happened to her at another point in time, because it's 11:17.
That was pretty fun, though. I think everybody had good moments.